Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Sam and this is CrawlerTrax, and in today's video we are checking out servos. I know it's something we haven't really done a lot of, is getting into the nitty-gritty of the hobby and the vehicles and whatnot. But today, from Direct RC right here, we have been sent a buttload, a lot of servos to check out. So we're going to go through each one of these. We're going to kind of give you a high level of what they are, give you a little bit of specs. We're going to show you what the servos are, tell you what they're for. I got my little cheat sheet here because I can't remember all the different numbers and what parts and pieces and what cars they're for. But we're going to show you what those are for. And then I'm going to show you on one of my vehicles a servo that I installed and kind of a little trick that you need to know in order to install one of these on one of those. That makes sense? All right, let's go. All right, guys, we're gonna bring you a little bit closer here to show you the Torq's servo lineup. We got these guys from Torq's. They sent them to us so we could show you the full lineup of what they have to offer. These guys are awesome. Let's jump in. The first servo I want to show you, we're gonna move some of these aside here, just so you can see. The first servo I want to show you is going to be the MLS 1022. What MLS stands for is mountless system. Okay, so just keep in mind that MLS, when you see an MLS, it's going to be mountless, and we're going to show you what that means. Let's open this guy up. These three right here are exactly the same. They don't fall over. We're going to put them up right here. But let's show you what's inside the box. First of all, you've got a smattering variety of servo control horns, or servo horns. This one happened to come with a aluminum horn. You can see it right there through the bag. I'm not 100% sure if they all come with it or if it was just a special they did, or some come with it, some don't. I'm not sure which ones do and which ones don't. I know that if you were an early adopter or ordered early from Torq's, whether it be on the Direct RC website or wherever you're getting it, I know they did include a free servo horn for it. I know when we were at the shows at Axial Fest West, Rob's Resort, and at Beat the Creek, I know we were offering these guys with a free control horn, aluminum control horn, but like I said, I don't know which ones comes with it and which ones don't. By the way, Torq's is relatively new servo to the surface game, meaning they're a new brand in regards to like crawlers and racing and anything on the surface, anything surface. But if you look them up, if you go to like helidirect.com, you'll find out that they've been building servos and electronics for helicopters for, ever. So they're a huge name in the, I guess, air world, the helicopters and airplane world, but now they've stepped into the crawler world and the mini RC world. So, and not necessarily even just the mini RC world, the surface world, I should say. But open this up. So we've gone through, we got some screws and some control horns, and then we've got the servo itself. Now, a lot of these servos are going to be very similar. We're just going to point out some of the features that the Torq servos come with. This, once again, is the MLS 1022, and what that means is it's mountless. Now, the 1022 is specifically designed for the SCX24 platform, the Axial SCX24 platform. And if you flip the servo over, you'll notice this guy right here. That is what they call a mountless system, which means it mounts directly to the axle of an SCX24 without the need for any servo cradle or any servo mount, without the need for an additional servo mount, I should say. This will mount right to an SCX24 platform. Let me show you how that works. So this is my Gladiator, my green Gladiator. Open this guy up. Now you'll see right there at the front, maybe you can see, that is a Torq servo. It's the MLS 1022. It mounts directly to the axle. There is no need for a mounting bracket or a harness, or not a harness, but a mount, if you will. God, I'm really struggling tonight. There's no need for a mount because this servo mounts directly to the axle, as you can see. That's what the mountless system looks like. The other feature that these servos have is on the mountless system, on the MLSs only, you'll notice they don't have any servo ears here. Normally on a normal servo, an ear would hold the servo in place, and that ear would attach to your servo mount. With these mountless systems, you don't have the ears, which is nice because, let me grab another SCX-24 right here, my Jurassic Park JP Gladiator. You'll notice here, and this one has extreme articulation, but you'll notice these two servo ears right here, in some articulation systems, will hit on that frame rail. See that? And I'm pushing it to the extreme, but in some articulation situations, that servo actually hits on the frame rail. With the earless mount system, or the earless system, because of the MLS, the mountless system, the direct mount to the axle, that doesn't happen. With the mountless servo from Torq's, you have all the clearance in the world, and it's never going to hit that rail. And if it does hit, there's nothing for it to grab on, right? It just is smooth sailing, and it won't bind up. So that's super nice. That's feature number 2. The next feature I'd like to point out is the rear servo wire exit. So a rear exit servo wire. That's it. Rear exit servo wire. So you'll notice this comes out the rear of the servo. For a servo that sits on the axle, that is huge. Most servos come out the side, and that is huge because that allows for even more clearance. There's nothing along the sides of these servos. I should be holding it this way so you can see it. There's nothing along the sides of these servos to hit on your frame rails or to bind up on your frame rails because that rear, because of where the wires come out in the rear position. That is phenomenal. I do believe, don't quote me on this, but I do believe these are waterproof. They can be submerged in water and still run, but don't quote me on that. I'm just going off the information that I have. The next thing, these are all metal gears, and they're super tough. I'm going to read you some of the specs really quick, and all the MLS servos are the exact same on specs. From what I understand, these are the fastest, most powerful servos on the market. You're not going to find another company that makes a faster, more powerful servo. Let me read you some of the specs. So at 6 volts, the torque is 11.5 kilograms. At 7.4 volts, the torque is 12.8 kilograms. And at 8.4 volts, yes, you can go all the way up to 8.4 volts on these little guys. The torque is 14.5 kilograms, which is mind-blowing, right? Now, the speed at 6 volts is 0.09 seconds for 60 degrees. The speed for 7.4 volts is 0.07 seconds for 60 degrees. And at 8.4 volts, 0.06 seconds at 60 degrees. We're going to show you some of the speed when we bounce the remote on some of our other rigs. But the speed on these things is ridiculous. It really is. And the torque, it's amazing. So that is the MLS 22. I'm going to quickly go through the other MLS servos because we have a couple other servos besides the MLS to go through. But that gives you an idea. MLS 1022 is for the SCX-24 platform, specifically because it has that mountless system. Those over there. The next one we're moving on to is the MLS 1023. Now the MLS 1023, you'll notice, once I open this guy up, is exactly the same, except for the color. There's a little adapter. It's exactly the same, except for the color, as the 1022. Has all the same specs. Yep, all the same specs, but it's black, which is fine, and it has a different mountless system. The MLS 1023, which this is for the FCX 24 and FCX 18 platforms. So that's the FMS FCX. Don't get that confused with the SCX from Axial. I know, so many CXs in the hobby. But the FCX 24 and FCX 18 mountless servo. So this mount right here is specifically designed for the FCX platforms, and it'll fit the 18 or the 24. So there you go. That's the reason why they give you the additional adapter, because FMS uses all these other little teeny plugs, and I can't remember off the top of my head what these are called. And this one happens to come with an aluminum servo horn as well. So moving on, once again, all the same torque specs, all the same speed specs as the 1022 for the axial, is basically the same servo except for the mount. Whoops. Now moving on from the MLS 1023 to the MLS 1024. You guessed it, 1024, right here. All right. These guys, once again, all the same specs as the 1022 and the 1023, just for the FX118 and the CR18P platforms. That is the FuriTech stuff as well as the Hobby Plus stuff. It'll fit both because the axles on the FuriTechs are the exact same as the axles on the Hobby Plus. So this only difference, once again, specs are the same. The only difference is that mountless system. That's the only thing that changes between all these different models. And moving on, by the way, this one comes with, let me see if I can get it out, comes with an aluminum servo horn as well. I really need to find out. I'll ask the guys over at Torq if all of them come with aluminum servo horn, and I'll post it in the comments or I'll post it on our socials. That's the MLS 1024. So we've gone through the FCX 24, the 1022, the FCX 24 and the FCX 18s with the 1023. The 1024 is the FX 118, which is the FuriTech stuff, and the CR18Ps, which is the Hobby Plus stuff. And the last one, oops, that's the other one for this. And the last one in the mountless servos, the MLS 1025 is for the Red Cats. This is the Ascend 18, the new International Scout that just came out. I guess it technically still an Ascent, the Ascent Scout, I guess is what they're calling it. But this is the 1025, and this is specifically designed, once again, all the same servo, all the same specifications as these guys right here, but this one's specifically designed for the Red Cats, which I'm super excited about because I love my Red Cats. I'm going to have to get a couple more of these for my monster truck and for my Ascent 18, or this one's probably going to go in my Scout. So just FYI. And this one does come with an aluminum, no, this one does not. Oh, maybe it does. Yep, it does come with an aluminum servo horn right there. So there you go. There's the MLS series of servos from Torq. They are mountless. Once again, the MLS means that they are mountless. Here they are. We've got the 1022 for the FCX 24. We've got the 1023 for the FCX 24 and FCX 18, which is the FMS product. We've got the MLS 1024, which is for the FX 118, the FuriTech stuff, and the CR18Ps, which is the Hobby Plus stuff. They use the same exact axles. And then the last one is the MLS 1025, which is for the Red Cat stuff. Let's move on. Let's put these aside, and let's move on to the next servos. And the next one on the list is the TCM 1001. This guy is tiny. Oh, we have to open it here. Pull the tab, maybe. My fat fingers. There we go. We'll stick that in the back. Ooh, nice packaging. I love it. I'm a sucker for awesome packaging. But this guy is actually really, really small. I'm not sure if you can see that. It's got a lot lower profile, and it's actually, I think, the same width. It's just a lot shorter. It's got all the same features as the MLS servos, just in a smaller footprint. It is a little bit narrower as well. as you can see. Let's look at some of the specs on this guy, because I'm not 100% sure I know the specs. But I do know that this guy specifically fits, something just fell. This guy specifically fits the Micro-Bs. It looks like it does come with plastic control horns, or servo horns. But let's look at the specs of this guy. For 6 volts, it is 0.066 seconds for 60 degrees, which is insanely fast. I think that is the fastest these guys get. So the MLS series, the 10 series, they only go, their fastest is 8.4 volts is 0.06 seconds at 60 degrees. Whereas in this is the TCM 1001 or 1001, its slowest speed at 6 volts is going to be 0.066 seconds. So at this lower voltage, this guy is just as fast as the highest voltage with this guy. That's insane for a servo that's, I mean, look at that guy. That's on the tip of my finger. That's insane. So at 7.4 volts, it is 0.58 seconds, 0.058 seconds for 60 degrees. And at 8.4 volts, it doesn't gain a whole lot of speed at 0.52 seconds. So not a ton of speed difference between 7.4 volts and 8.4 volts, but the difference between 6 volts and 8.4 volts is drastic. This is pretty amazing, this guy right here. Once again, it has ears on it, but it has the rear exit servo wire, which is cool because once again, it's not going to rub. If you are articulating, I know on like the Micro-Bs, you're not articulating as much, but it's not going to rub on anything. And this just puts you out closer to where you need to plug it in at your receiver, and you don't have to worry about the wires bending around the side, if that was the side, if that makes any sense. Very cool servo. We're excited to put this in our Micro-B. Let's put this back in its case. Let's show you a couple other things that came with these servos, just for fun. Once again, this is the TCM 1001 or 1001. And it comes in a cool little case. All right, on to the Mini-B. This is the TSP 1003. This is the Mini-B mount for this servo. And like I said, we're not going to install this because I haven't even opened up my Mini-B yet. I need to, but to be honest, I haven't even opened it up yet. We've been so busy with you guys and your orders. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. We haven't had time to even open this up yet. But this is the servo mount for this servo for the Mini-B. And this right here is the control horn for the Mini-B, for this smaller servo right here. So this is an aluminum control horn. So it looks like you have to purchase that separately because ours came separately and it's individually wrapped. So if you want a aluminum servo horn for the TCM 1001, you've got to purchase it separately. And by the way, speaking of purchasing, we'll put links to all these servos in the description below. Those are affiliate links. We're an affiliate for DirectRC. Doesn't cost you any more to purchase them, but it sure does help our channel out. It gives us just a little bit of kickback. It helps us here out on the channel. Speaking of helping us out on the channel, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, hit the quadfecta. I'm using all my friends out there on YouTube. I'm using all our friends of the channel out on YouTube. I'm using their little, whatever they say. Like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell. Like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell. And then our good buddy over at CK4RC, Chaz, he always says the quadfecta. Like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell. So whatever you want to do those things that help support the channel. That's an easy thing for you to do that supports the channel. Now, the last thing I want to show you guys, actually there's two other things I want to show you. First of all, the servo that is the TCM 1022. I've already mounted it in, this is my FuriTech FX118 Fury Wagon. I mounted it in here for testing purposes Torq's reached out to me months ago. I knew these servos were coming, and they reached out to me and said, hey, can you test fit this into one of your rigs and see if it fits? I did. I'm using the stock servo tray. This is not a mountless system, or the TCM series of servos are not mountless, meaning they don't have the built-in mount that attaches directly to the axle. This servo right here, and I'm going to show you a picture, I'm going to show it to you here. That servo right there can go in any standard servo, whether it's the T-Word, whether it's an FCX24, whether it's the FX118, whether it's the Axial, whether it's the FMS product. This servo can go in any platform where you need a 9-gram servo. This right here is the one you want. It can be used as a shift servo in your 10 scale. It can be used as, you know, a steering servo for the smaller stuff. Wherever you need a standard 9-gram servo, you can use the TCM series. It has this 1022, I do believe, has all the same specs as the mountless systems. It's just with servo ears and not the mountless system. So same specs as the regular 1022s, just TCM, which means it does not have the mountless system built into the servo. Now, there is a cheaper option out there, and I don't think I got one. And if I did, I have misplaced it. I will find it. It's in my parts bucket back there. They do have a TCM 1011. The TCM 1011 is their budget-friendly version of this. I do believe this is around $40 or $45 for the TCM 1022, which is the same specs as the mountless guys. But the budget-friendly version of this servo, which I think is around $25, is your TCM 1011. The 1011 is the same servo, same size, just a more budget-friendly. I'm not sure if it has metal gears. We'll put links to all this stuff down in the description so you guys can check them out. But keep in mind, and I think it's around here somewhere, I just got to find it in my parts bucket. They got thrown in my parts bucket on accident, and now they're mixed in with a billion other parts. But the TCM 1011 is the budget-friendly version of the TCM 1022. It's not going to have the speed, it's not going to have the torque, but it is a much lower cost, or about half the cost, give or take a few dollars, of the TCM 1022. But still, great servos for the money. You can't beat $45 for a servo. You can't beat $25 for a servo for the TCM 1011. Torq has knocked it out of the park. Now, the last thing I want to show you before I go is this guy right here. And this may be a sneak peek, because I'm not even sure if this is available yet, because mine came in an unpackaged package. Unpackaged package? Yes, mine came in an unpackaged package. So this right here, I'm not going to get out, but I'll just show you, is a Servo Saver control horn. So this will fit any of the servos from Torq, the 9-gram size servos from Torq, and it will save your servo. So if you have it on like a crawler and you're cranking on it, you're bound up, this is what this little guy will do. So we're going to find out more about these, and we may do a specific video on this or an install depending on what we put this on. And yeah, Servo Saver. So there you go. Torq is killing it. Head on over to our friends at Direct RC. They have all these servos on their website, at least most of them, I'm pretty sure. We'll put links to them down in the description, so all you have to do is click down there. Once again, those are affiliate links, and those help the channel out immensely. The last thing I want to show you. I think I said last thing already, but this is my Arctos, my Hobby Plus Arctos, my 6x6. This is one of my favorite rigs, by the way. It is very cool and very fun. But you'll notice, I'm not sure if you can see it, but it has a Torq servo on there. And once again, this guy right here, I can't even tell what version it is, but I know it was an early edition or an early version, early pre-release, because they were having me do some testing on it. Now, you'll notice that the servo, I'm not sure if you can see it, the servo right there, horn comes down on the wrong side if you're going to install this on an Arctos, because the steering linkage, which is kind of fallen back, let me grab it, is on the wrong side. So if I straighten that out, you can see that arm is on the wrong side. And because this is mountless, right? This is a mountless servo, so this is an MLS servo. you have to do some switching around or some switcheroos. All you have to do to switch the drag link around, which is this guy right here, I haven't hooked it up yet. All you have to do is take off these two right here and flip this steering arm the other way. Because as it stands right now, if you are to hook that up, you would always be in a constant state of turning, and that's no bueno. So what we're going to do really quick is we're going to take our little wrench set here from CCX RC, which we love this thing. Thank you, Tony, for sending it to us. And we're going to grab our little guy. I bet this is the one. And we're going to take this, and I'm sorry I'm doing this kind of informally, but I want to get this shown to you guys. I'll bet I can't even get to it. Yep, I'm going to have to do some major surgery. Anyway, the point is, all you have to do is take that nut off right there, that nut off right there, flip that link 180 degrees, and then this servo will work on the Arctos. I'm not sure of how many of the other Hobby Plus rigs are that way, but if you would like us to do a video showing you specifically the install on the Arctos, we'll take it all out and redo it for you guys. Leave us a comment down below. Tell us if you'd like to see us do an install video on the Arctos with this MLS servo. Well, guys, that is it for today. We've been talking about the Torq's MLS and the Torq's TCMs. Where's my other one? Oh, right here. TCM servos. And they are awesome. And you're going to love them. Hit those links down below in the description. Check them out. And we'll catch you on the trail.